Welcome to the Paul Sock Academy. (1793 to 94). It was a period in France during the French Revolution when Maximilien Robespierre ruled very strictly. He saw many people as enemies of the Republic, nobles, clergy, and rival political groups, and even his own supporters who disagreed with him. These people were arrested and tried in the revolutionary court, and if found guilty, were executed by the guillotine. Robespierre also controlled daily life. It means he fixing the prices, rationing food, even banning the expensive white flour. People had to call each other citizen instead of sir or madam to show equality. Churches were closed and their building turned into the offices or barracks. In the end, Robespierre's rule became too harsh. Even his supporters turned against him. He was arrested in July 1794 and executed by the guillotine, ending the reign of the terror. After the fall of the Jacobin government, power went to the wealthy middle class. A new constitution was made which gave voting rights only to the property owning men. Two legislative councils were elected and they appointed a directory. It means a group of 5 members to run the country. The directory was formed to prevent one person from getting all the power, but it often clashed with the councils. This led to a political instability, and finally, this weakness helped Napoleon Bonaparte rise as a military dictator. Even though governments keep changing, the ideas of the liberty, equality, and fraternity continue to inspire people in France and Europe. Did women take part in the revolution? Yes. Women actively took part in the French Revolution. From the very beginning, they joined in the events that changed French society. Women of the Third Estate had to work for their living. They worked as seamstresses, laundries, sold flowers, fruits and vegetables, or served as domestic workers in the rich households. Their wages were very low compared to men. Most women did not get education or job training. Only the daughters of the nobles or wealthy families could study in the convents. Even then, their families usually arranged marriages for them. Poor working women also had to look after their families by cooking, fetching water, cooking, or laundries, caring their children also. To express their demands, women formed their own political clubs and newspaper. Nearly 60 women's clubs were started in the different cities. The most famous was the Society of the Revolutionary and Republican Women. Through these groups, they praised the revolutionary government to bring reforms and improve their lives. So, women indeed had their own revolution within the French Revolution by fighting for the better wages, education, equal rights, and voice in politics. One of the biggest social reforms of the Jacobin regime in the France was the abolition of slavery in the French colonies. 1. The French colonies in the Caribbean, Martinique, Guadeloupe, and San Domingo produces important goods like sugar, tobacco, coffee, and indigo. 2. Europeans did not want to work in distant land, so there was a shortage of the labor. To solve this, a triangular slave trade developed between Europe, Africa, and Americans. 3. French merchants carried goods to Africa, bought slaves from the local chiefs, and then took them across the Atlantic Ocean to the Caribbean. 4. Slaves were branded, shackled, and tightly packed on ships. After 3 months' journey, they were sold to plantation owners. 5. Slaves worked on plantation to produce sugar, coffee, and indigo, which were in high demand in Europe. Cities like Bordeaux and Nantes became rich from this trade. In 18th century, there was little criticism of slavery in France. The National Assembly debated whether the rights of the man should apply to the colonies, but no law was passed because businessmen opposed it. Finally, in 1794, the convention abolished slavery in French overseas colonies, but this did not last long. In the year of 1804, Napoleon reintroduced slavery to protect the profits of the plantation owners. Slavery was permanently abolished in French colonies in the year of 1848. The French Revolution not only changed the politics but also influenced the daily lives of the people, including their clothes, language, reading habits. After the storming of the Bastille in 1789, censorship was abolished. Earlier, under the old regime, books, newspaper, and plays could only be published with the king's approval. But now, freedom of the speech and expression was declared a natural rights to the Declaration of the Rights of the Man and the Citizen. As a result, newspaper, books, printed pictures spread widely across the France, reaching the even countryside. They described and discussed the revolutionary events and allowed people to express and exchange their debates, different views. Freedom of the press also meant that the opposing opinions could be expressed only. The cultural activities like the plays, songs helped ordinary people to connect with revolutionary ideas such as the liberty and justice, which were earlier understood only by the educated elites through their long philosophical texts. Thus, the revolution successfully brought the principle of the liberty and equality into everyday life, making them accessible to the common people. Napoleon Bonaparte declared himself as the Emperor of the France by conquering the neighboring European countries in 1804. He introduced the new code of laws, and many people saw him as a liberator who would bring the freedom. But soon his armies came to be viewed everywhere as an invading force. He finally defeated at the War of the Waterloo of 1815. But still, the ideas of the liberty and democratic rights were first generated from the French Revolution, which spread all over the European countries during 19th century, where feudal systems were abolished.